Hi guys, how you doing? Hope everyone's well. Hope life's treating you good. Where to start? Where to begin? I haven't posted a video for a while. Posted something last night just to, just to show you that I'm not dead or anything. Well, I felt it was important to talk about what had gone on. It helps me as much as anything really. So that's the reason for this video. I'll apologise in advance because it might be a bit rambly and it might be a bit random, and I have to admit I'm a bit excitable, on edge, whatever, but I'll talk to you about it. I will also love people's thoughts and opinions on it. It helps me get an understanding. Especially some of the guys. If I go by my last Chatette video, you guys have been really good and you've made comments and you've helped me understand things a little bit better and put things into a bit of a better perspective. So I would really appreciate your comments, of course. But I'll start short and develop it. The short answer is I don't have a job anymore. Lost my job. Not as straightforward as you are sacked or you are rubbish, interestingly. There is apparently a place for me to come back. It's the most bizarrest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. I can't say too much for obvious reasons, but I'm gonna probably say too much, but I don't care. Basically, I was still in training, so to speak, and I lost my job based on a variety of reasons that not all of them was made fully clear to me. The long and short of it is that the business didn't need me at that time, or some. Basically, it was a load of long-winded way of saying we don't need you no more, and sent me packing. When I left and I came home, I didn't feel the way I should have felt. I felt relieved, to be honest with you, and I felt happy, which was a bit disturbing because I should be concerned about my future and I should be concerned about things, right? But I'm really not. I'm pleased that I'm not there, to be honest with you, and I'm happy that I'm not working for that place, to be honest with you. I don't really know what to make of it all because I'm not sacked in the true sense of the word. It's so confusing. They've basically said that there's a place for me there, but not at this moment in time, which is so confusing to me. I've never been in a situation like that, and I don't really know what to think. Apparently I'm going to get a reference and all the usual things that you'd expect, and it's cheerio mate, have a good one sort of thing. And I'm just curious to know if anyone else has been in a situation where they've basically been binned off in almost every sense of the word, but not. It's so bizarre. It's kind of, it's not even. Someone said, when I was describing it to somebody else, they said to me, is it a suspension then? I'm like, well, no, because that would suggest that I've done something wrong and that they're investigating that. And they've categorically told me I've done nothing wrong. Not one aspect of my job apparently was wrong. In fact, they were quite impressed by some of the things that I was doing and so on and so on. So, confused is the word. But, relieved. The job wasn't brilliant. It was a lot of cold calling. It was a lot of selling things that was difficult to sell. It wasn't the best, to be honest with you, and I'm glad that I'm out of it. But by the same token, it was a job, and I need a job. Do you know what I mean? At this moment in time, no massive worries. A lot of things that are going on at the moment I'm quite pleased about. There's a lot of things moving in the right direction. I'm really lucky because, although I don't have a job or any of that, I'm really lucky because, like, obviously, I've got all the things that I want, like hobby-wise and life-wise, and I'm with someone that I really, really care about, and thankfully she cares for me as well, which is great. The only thing that's missing is this job security thing, the financial security and stuff like that. The only thing that worries me is that will become a problem. It's not a problem at the moment, but it will be. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be. It's just the way it is, isn't it? So I'm just wondering about the future now. I've just never been in a situation like that before, and it's just kind of confusing to me. So I thought I'd just ask you guys, see what you reckon. Between me and Laura, I mean, Laura's the sensible one. I mean, between me and Laura, I would say Laura's the sensible, realistic one. I'm the one with the crazy ideas and the wild dreams, right? And she's the one that reins it in a bit and says, well, yeah, but no. And I'm speaking with her, I mean, she feels similarly to me, which is great, obviously. But it's just so strange that we just seem so relaxed about a lot of things at the moment, and it's just so bizarre, so weird. Should we be panicking? Is there a reason to panic? I don't know. The only thing that worries me is obviously the future and stuff like that. Obviously, I'd like to have that normal thing, that thing, that family togetherness thing. That thing where you've got a 9 to 5 and you've got a nice house and you've got family and you've got a future. You get me? That's the only thing that is a massive thing for me. But I don't know. It's given me so much. Losing this job has given me another angle and another perspective to look at things, and I'm finding a lot of things that I find a lot of things out about myself that I didn't know about before. So it's kind of interesting, kind of fun. I've been conscious of Christmas, and I've been conscious of what I want to do with the channel. And that's something else that I'm going to talk about in another video, I think, because I still need to get an idea in my mind about where I'd like to take it. See, for me, I want to really start. I want to put some proper investment into it, because I want to bring something out of it that maybe I can't bring out with my normal, with my cameras and my other things at the moment. See, I want to get a really nice camera that I've got my heart set on, and I want to get a nice tripod. I want to make it special. Do you know what I mean? I want to take it to the next level now. And I think that silly little things like the quality of the camera, the quality of the footage, I think it makes all the difference. And I think part of it as well is me opening my... No one's ever said this to me before, but most people tell me to shut up, in fairness. But I think part of the thing that would make the videos better is me opening my mouth a little bit more and being a little bit more open and honest about how I feel. I'm always conscious of what I'm saying, and I'm always thinking to myself, what I'm saying is a bit silly, really. So I always rein it in. And I think maybe it's time that I didn't. I think maybe it's time I took it to the next level, so to speak, and just really told it as it was, from my point of view, anyway. I'm conscious of the fact that this video is not talking much about gaming, really, but at this moment in time, outside of the work issues and life issues and who am I type situations, I'm actually getting quite a bit of gaming in, actually, to be honest with you. I'm quite surprised. I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys about the Wonderswan very quickly before I roll. And I would suggest that anyone who has a bit of a penchant for Japanese stuff, likes quirky handhelds, maybe likes the idea of something that they can put into the pocket, like literally Game Boy Micro type size, and wants to play on the go, then I strongly suggest that you guys get a Wonderswan. I've been playing Final Fantasy on it, which is obviously in Japanese, but it's surprising how much of it is in English, believe it or not. And it's enough to make the game very playable. and in some ways there's some presentation differences and so there's some gameplay quirks that make the game, it makes Final Fantasy that bit more worthwhile, in my opinion. When you're playing on the Wonderswan, a lot of it's exactly the same. You know exactly where you are and you feel comfortable with it. But there are subtle differences that make it so much more appealing and worthwhile. As I say, comparing it to the Game Boy Advance, I mean, it's like comparing chalk with the finest cheese ever made. Do you know what I mean? The Game Boy Advance version truly is very special, presentation-wise and all the rest of it. It is a very good game. However, it's not got that mojo, that thing. The Wonderswan version, it feels special, and it's the same principle with Final Fantasy 2. It's the same principle with pretty much most of the franchises that are on there. You'll find that there's a lot of games on the Wonderswan that you totally know about and are totally aware of. I'm playing through a game which it's got a long Japanese phrasing. It's basically, I mean, the short version is it's called Chocobo Mysterious Dungeon. It's basically a conversion of a PlayStation game. It never came out over here. If anyone's familiar with the expression roguelike, they'll know exactly what it is. It's basically randomly generated dungeons. You travel around, pick up randomly generated items, kill randomly generated monsters. The game's totally based on the idea of going as far into the dungeon as you can and hopefully getting to the end, but it's all randomly generated, right? And there's a loose story based on chocobos and how they are perceived in the world and all that kind of thing. Don't know much about it because most of it's in Japanese, but once you can get over the presentation, which is quirky in Japanese, right, you've got yourself a pretty compelling and playable game. I've been playing a lot of Wonderswan, more than I've been playing other things recently, and I've been getting so much fun out of it. The interesting thing is just that there's just so many little things about it that just are impressive. The fact that you can get, like, I've been playing it now on and off for maybe at least 20 hours off the same one AA battery, just a normal regular AA battery. I've put it in, I've been playing it for hours. It's brilliant. There are two players on it. The only thing that I dislike, and it isn't really a problem, I don't even dislike, I don't know, it's just weird, is the fact that when there's a volume button rather than a slider, and when you press the volume button it goes to 4 different volume settings and then off. It's a bit bizarre because I don't expect that. And the other thing as well is there's no contrast and there's no backlight. So obviously you need a torch for playing it at night or something. Don't bother me, but it might bother some people. Other than that, it's the dog's bees. And I love it. I love it, mate. And I would encourage anyone who sees one cheap on eBay to pick them up. The other thing you've got to consider as well is that the games are very, very cheap. Boxed, with instructions. A lot of them are brand new because people collect them and don't understand or appreciate what they are. They just look at them and go, boxed Wonderswan game? Ooh, nice. I'm getting new games coming in, £4, £5, £6 at a time. I'm importing games in from Japan off eBay and I'm paying, including postage, £5, £6, £7, £8. So there's obviously a niche market for Wonderswan games. They're obviously very cheap. So my advice is if you want something quirky and unique and you want to have something to enjoy that's a little bit different, go get yourselves a Wonderswan. I'm really conscious of time and I'm really conscious of the fact that I'm rambling on. There's one other thing I want to talk about, and that is, it's difficult, but it's kind of about gaming. I was talking with various people, and I was talking a little bit with Laura as well about the future. Is gaming forever? The big psychological question. Could gaming be forever? Could I live a life where I could 20, 30 years from now be able to pick up a joypad and not feel moronic? Could I have a family and a lifestyle where gaming could be involving in that and part of that? Is there a cut-off point? Am I just a big kid? I've always been conscious of the fact that I've got all this stuff and it's a part of me, but does it have to be? Is there something more? I don't know. It's difficult to broach sensibly or intelligently. Could you be a gamer forever till you're dead? You know, on my deathbed, could I be holding a PlayStation pad going, you know, and saying my last words playing a game or something? Is that stupid or ridiculous? It's your hobby, right? So, like, you know, there's some people that are into photography and they go, you know, they leave a lasting legacy of fantastic work. There's people that have a hobby of, like, making things, and they make some truly unique things and amazing things before they snuff it, for want of a better expression. The question I'm curious to know is can you game, and that is to say gaming as in, we're not talking PS3 first-person shooters, mainstream kind of thing. We're talking about the kind of gaming where you pick up a Mega Drive controller, the kind of gaming where you play on the SNES, the kind of gaming where you play on a PlayStation or a Saturn, or a Game Boy or a Wonderswan. Can you play these things in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and not feel silly? It's hard to explain. Steve Benway, he's got a massive collection and he's got a life outside of the gaming, right? And I'm thinking, that's the, without wanting to sound bizarre or weird or anything, it would be interesting if I could have a lifestyle similar to his, in the sense that he's got an intelligence and a maturity and an integrity, but he still games. He's got the balance right, yeah? So could I have something like that? Could I have a lifestyle like that? My parents, for example, don't get it. They instantaneously see it as like me reliving my childhood. So they see it as a phase that's going to end, right? Most people who I describe the hobby to say, well, you're living in the past. So, is that wrong? Is that bad? Can I sustain that for the rest of my days? Or is there going to come a point where I have to hold my hands up and say, I can no longer game? I don't know. The fact of the matter is that I enjoy it, and it is escapism from a lot of things, and I don't want to lose that kind of thing. But, see, I'm 30. I'm 30 years old. Shouldn't I be concerning myself with mortgages and families and all this malarkey? I don't know. There's a lot of things that I've been thinking about life-wise, and there's a lot of things I've been thinking about generally. And I'm just trying to prioritise things and be sensible, because at the end of the day, I'm leading a carefree lifestyle. And Laura, you know, for as much as we concern ourselves with jobs and concern ourselves with life, we live quite a carefree lifestyle. And although I wouldn't describe our lives as perfect, we've certainly got the balance right. And we have a lot of free time, and we have a lot of freedom. And is that sustainable? Can we live a life like that? I mean, could we be like that forever? This is the thing. I'm always concerned about the future. Almost paranoid about it to some extent. And I'm just thinking, is gaming forever? What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions. Let me know if you think I'm crazy or mad. Please, be brutal. In the comments, tell me stuff, and let me know what you guys think, because I'd love to get some understanding of maybe, I'm trying to think of the right expression, are there any mature gamers, people that have gamed for more than 20 years, more than 30 years, that still get something out of the hobby? Are they able to rationalise their hobby with their families and with their friends and with their associates? Can people appreciate and understand a man or a woman that games? I'd love to know. I would be so curious to know what your thoughts are. And that, guys, is where I'm going to leave it, because I've been rambling on way too much, and I've got SD cards for various things, such as my palm. So I'm going to be doing some more videos later on, maybe about the palm and stuff like that. In the meantime, I'm going to be trickling videos in and out as I can, and I'm going to be chucking in chatettes randomly, just to keep you guys abreast of things a little bit more. I'm hoping that things are going to move in the right direction, and I'm hoping you guys are all okay out, you know, doing what you do and living your lives and stuff like that. And once again, I really appreciate the fact that you guys are there, basically subscribed and all the rest of it. I've had a couple of new subscribers on and off, and I just wanted to say, hey, how are you doing? And thanks. Also, I wanted to say, be brutal. Don't think that it's wrong to tell me the reality and the honesty of life. You know what I mean? I need that, to be honest with you. And it's always nice to know what other people outside of my world think. I like that. So, honestly, guys, comment away, and hopefully we can get some nice debate going about it. But in the meantime, guys, have a good one. Hope you're all enjoying life, and hope you're all enjoying, you know, gaming and everything. And I'll be keeping in touch. In the meantime, have a good one. Laters.